To Dr. Sanchez, ma'am, and my fellow classmates, good day. So, my research topic is all about impact of punishment measures and rehabilitation programs to children in conflict with the law. So, let's start with the objectives. Objectives of the study. This study aims to identify impact of punishment measures and rehabilitation programs to children in conflict with the law, to know the root cause of the problem and address the problem by giving some recommendations. Introduction. Children are one of the most vulnerable social groups. Things are even more complicated with children who, for one reason or another, are in contact with the law. Children who have committed a crime, children committing the so-called status offense, child victims, and child witnesses. So, yung sinasabi dito na status offenses, ito yung mga offenses siya na napaparusahan lang siya dahil child yung nakakagawa. For example, sa isang bayan o halimbawa Batangas City, may ordinance ang Batangas City na pagdating ng 8 PM, lahat ng 18 years old pababa ay bawal nang lumabas. So pag may nag-violate doon na 18 years old pababa or considered as children, mapaparusahan siya. Yun yung mga offenses na napaparusahan lang dahil nakomit siya ng considered as children. Juvenile delinquency is nothing more than a combination of negative, social, and legal phenomena, namely antisocial and unlawful acts committed by persons under the age of 18. Working with difficult children is one of the main components of social work in many countries. The significance of the services provided by special education facilities has necessitated the need for the reforming and introduction of more effective ways to support children who came in contact with the law. Dr. Jose P. Rizal, the national hero of the Philippines, once said that the youth are the nation's future. However, what future will these children have if they can be arrested and detained like adults even when charged with not so serious offenses such as petty theft, glue or solvent sniffing, vagrancy, and curfew hours violation? In November 2016, the juvenile justice law became a hot topic for debate when the Philippine Congress planned to propose a bill that would lower the age of criminal responsibility to 9 from 15 years old, which is the legal as documented in the current Juvenile Justice and Welfare Act, otherwise known as the RA 9344. Kippenberg stressed that under the United Nations Convention on Rights of the Child, the arrest, detention, or imprisonment of children should only be used as a last resort. The human rights also emphasize that rehabilitation should be offered at the time of the arrest. The controversial bill fails to protect the rights of the Filipino children and detained remain vague on what awaits children once they are charged, sentenced, and put into jail. Are they entitled to lawyer or legal team? Will they be treated appropriately and humanely? Will they be protected against violence and abuse? The proposed bill is also contradictory to the beliefs of legislators that claim that the bill will protect these children. It is indeed anti-poor since many of the accused children cannot afford the services of a lawyer. A brave 16 years old teenager from Ifugao recently took center stage by disagreeing with the Congress proposal, saying it would kill the hope of Filipino children. She stressed in popular lingo that the bill would also be a huge fail for the Duterte administration. The term children in conflict with the law refers to anyone under 18 who comes into contact with the justice system as a result of being suspected of accused of committing an offense. Most children in conflict with the law have committed petty crimes such as minor offenses as vagrancy, truancy, and alcohol use. Some of these are known as status offense and are not considered crime when committed by adults. In addition, some children who engage in children behavior have been used as coerced by adults. Too often, prejudice related to race, ethnicity, or social and economic status may bring a child into conflict with the law even when crime has been committed or result in harsh treatment by the law enforcement officials. Very often, when a child into contact with the law, it represents a fundamental failure to fulfill the child's rights to adequate care and protection at an early point in their lives. Large numbers of children in conflict with the law are socioeconomic victims, denied their rights to education, health, shelter, care, and protection. Many of them have had little or no access to education. Many are working children, and some have left their homes and taken to the streets to escape from violence and abuse at the hands of their families. Once having entered the justice system, children are often held in detention for long periods awaiting trial. This makes them vulnerable to further violence and abuses. The criminal justice system in the Philippines, characterized by the very poor and inadequate facilities, inhumane conditions, inefficient handling and resolutions of cases, among others, has often failed for adult offenders and more so for children who have come into contact with the law. These children, who are likely to have experienced abuse and neglect in their own homes and in their immediate environments, are now forced into harsh and dehumanizing situations within the adult criminal justice system that expose them to further abuse and tarnish any hope for them to be reintegrated into the communities and become responsible and productive citizens. Some legislators said that the children who commit crimes should not just be released, but instead be placed in youth care facilities for rehabilitation. In Republic Act 9344, or otherwise known as Juvenile Justice and Welfare Act of 2006, any child aged 12 to 15 who commits serious offenses like murder and rape would have to be placed in a bahay pag-asa for at least 1 year. The law has also been amended so that children below 15 years old who are found by the local social welfare and development officer to be dependent, abandoned, neglected, or abused by their parents can be placed in a bahay pag-asa. Upon authorization of their parents or guardians, or in the absence of or refusal through a petition for involuntary commitment. This is most evident in the fact that many children caught for various offenses are being held in detention. The appalling conditions in most detention centers have compelled the Supreme Court of the Philippines to issue a directive to judges on the special treatment of minor detainees and jail congestions. Issues regarding human rights became apparent in the way that the current process of justice administration for children is carried out. There is no excuse for violation of children's rights because the protection of children is the direct responsibility of the state, which, in the case of the Philippines, has ratified the United Nations Convention on Rights of the Child in 1990 and has enshrined the promotion and protection of children's rights in its 1987 Constitution. Wherever possible, children's difficulties should be resolved in their respective communities, with the resolution depending on the seriousness of the offense or whether it is a further offense. This may range from a warning given by the police to mediation with a written agreement. This is the essence of what is called diversion. Diversion is the generic term given to describe the various processes that may be used to ensure that CICL or child in conflict with the law are prevented from entering the formal justice system. In the area of juvenile justice, UNICEF aims to reduce incarceration while protecting children from violence, abuse, exploitation. It promotes rehabilitation that involves families, communities as a safer, more appropriate, and effective approach than punitive measures. Justice systems designed for adults often lack the capacity to adequately address the issues and are more likely to harm than improve a child's chances of reintegration into society. For all these reasons, UNICEF strongly advocates children directing children away from judicial proceeding and towards community solutions, restorative justice, or promoting reconciliation, restitution, and responsibility through the involvement of the child, family members, victims, and communities, and alternatives to custodial sentencing like counseling, probation, and community services. Statement of the problem. Juvenile justice system in the Philippines has been a growing concern for many rights groups. But what is really alarming is the kind of environment or living conditions these children are facing. In some article written by Father CICL of the Manila Times, incarcerated children ages 7 to 17 in Bahay Pag-asa in Metro Manila are suffering from hunger and neglect. Cullen revealed that the local governments are responsible for managing these child's jails. However, the children are treated like adult criminals. So, ang sabi dito sa isa sa mga problema dun sa ating juvenile justice system is yung isa sa problema is yung facility. So, alam naman natin yun na talagang kung sa facility, kulang na kulang talaga tayo. Yung sa personnel naman, siguro meron din naman, pero kung makikita nyo yung sa Bahay Pag-asa, napakadaming considered as children doon na talagang siguro sa sobrang dami, hindi na kumbaga na nabibigyan ng focus ng mga personnel na nandun sa rehabilitation center. Kasi sa sobrang dami, hindi kayang i-accommodate lahat. Kaya isa yon sa nagiging problema. Sadly, these hunger children are not only starving for food but also for recognition, respect, dignity, and freedom. It should be remembered that children are quite often malnourished, stunted, mentally challenged, and emotionally unstable. Yet they are also human beings who need to be loved, cared for, and protected. They should be in school and not sleeping on cold concrete floors, no sunlight, limited food, and all alone. They are also victims of abuse and bullying, leaving them mentally and emotionally broken. All in all, the children are robbed of their innocence, making them believe that they are truly criminals. So, sabi dito, kung bata pa nga sila, kasi nga, siguro mararamdaman nila pag nandun sila sa mga rehabilitation is talagang nagkasala sila at considered silang criminal. So, siguro dito, pag mga ganito, pagkatapos ng mga rehabilitation is kailangan din ng may tinatawag tayo sa psychology na yung para hindi siya matrauma, may ginagawang process para hindi siya matrauma dun sa nangyari sa kanya. Kumbaga, yung healing process para magaling balik normal uli siya sa kanyang buhay. Walang mangyayaring trauma sa kanya. As they grow up in such horrible settings, these children often mature full of anger and bitterness towards society, and with lack of education, these incarcerated kids' pursuit for a better life remains grim, leaving them with no choice but to live a life begging and or scavenging. The lives of children behind bars in Bahay Pag-asa was painted a bleaker picture for the future once the Philippine Congress passed the proposed measure for the lowered criminal liability age. With this move, innocent children will be branded as full-fledged criminals. It was found that children in jails and rehabilitation centers were experiencing abuse from the hands of staff and even older children. These and other findings detailing and dreadful conditions in places of custody point to either an absence of official guidelines for the staff as to how children should be treated in custody, a lack of awareness of the existence of such guidelines, or conscious non-compliance with such guidelines. The confinement of a newcomer in an observation room for 3 days to 14 days in isolation or with others for punishment is likely to cause unnecessary deprivation or regulations for this seem non-existent. So, ang isa pa sa mga problema dito sa mga children in conflict with the law, yung sa mga rehabilitation center is madami silang nakakahalubilo, madami silang nakakasama. At doon, maaari pa silang ma-expose. Katulad dun sa mga adult jails, sa jails, meron doon minimum, maximum, minimum, medium, maximum. So, kaya sila pinaghihiwalay. So, para yung mga hindi naman grabe yung offenses, yung mga first time offender, tapos hindi yung mga grabe yung offenses, yung, magkakasama sila para, kasi ang karaniwang nangyayari kasi pag nasa jail, ang mangyayari kasi doon ay depende, siguro depende siya, pero ang nangyayari talaga doon, pag nakulong ka kasi nga madami ka nakakahalubilong offenders o yung tinatawag natin PDL ngayon, person deprived of liberty is may bago kang natututunan sa kanila. Ang masama kasi doon, yung natututunan sa karamihan doon is yung mga maling gawain. Kasi naikwento ng mga kapwa nila sa kulungan, mga kanan nila sa kulungan, yung mga, kumbaga nakakakuha pa sila ng technique, ganun pala yun. Ganun pala, pwede ko pala, paglabas pala dito, pwede ko palang gawin yun. O kaya minsan, ang nangyayari pa, pag nagkakasama-sama sila sa gym, nagkakakilala, ang nangyayari pa is, bumubuo sila ng grupo. Is may nangyayaring, nagbubuo sila ng grupo para paglabas nila, sila yung magkakasama at magko-commit na naman sila ng bagong offense. So, isa yun sa mga problema. At katulad din yun sa mga children. So, pag na-expose sila sa kapwa na CICL, yung in conflict with the law, sila in conflict with the law, is siguro, pag hindi sila nabigyan ng proper guidance and counseling siguro, ganun din yung mangyayari sa kanila. Siguro may matututunan silang mali, kung ano-ano nung maiisip nila. So, dapat talaga kailangan may proper guidance and counseling sa rehabilitation center. The lack or absence of a serious rehabilitation program in custodial centers was also common. Children were found to experience boredom in jails, with the monotony of routine pushing them to escape. It was also observed that very few of the CICL are able to go out to attend schools. Reintegration planning was also found to be minimal. Children also said they prefer a center with at least semi-open conditions like the Balay Pasilungan and the community scouts where they could go out to schools and visit their families. So, recommendations. All first-time offenders should be offered diversions in the community unless their offenses are very serious. Example, murder, rape, extreme violence, among others. So, sa tingin ko, nangyayari naman ito. Lalo na kasi pag kasi children yung nakakommit ng offense, kailangan talaga is pangunawa. Kasi nga, children sila at kailangan nila ng proper guidance. There should be a strong advocacy with mayors, city councilors, association of barangay councils, individual barangay captains, and other influential players to set up a council for the protection of children at the city, municipal, and barangay levels. So, kailangan naman lagi nito, kahit naman sa sigurong organization, lalo na siguro dito, in regards to sa CICL, dapat talaga may coordination lahat ng levels ng hindi lang sa local pati sa national. Kumbaga magtutulong-tulong lahat kahit ngayon sa mga private kung maaari tutulong rin for the benefit of these children. Guidelines and principles and good practice should be developed from the experiences in implementing community-based diversions. This should also be distributed to the DILG, PNP, Department of Justice, the Supreme Court, the SWD, CWC, and other relevant agencies and interested organization or group. 4. There should be training of and coordination among barangay officials, tanods, influential local people, and city social workers. DSWD and other police in the handling of children. So, yun nga, dapat may coordination. Katulad ng sabi ko kanina. Almost all program staff, regardless of their job titles as social workers or house parents, stated that the lack of training affects the efficiency of their work. Financial resources like human resources are quite stretched in the programs visited. The provisions of rehabilitation program is not enough and will have insufficient impact if they fail to respond to the individual needs of the CICL or to demand of the outside world. Innovation should be constantly introduced, especially at the local levels. The introduction of new methods, techniques, models, systems, and the processes in which in answering the needs of CICL must be practiced. Reform should be done to distinguish programs from CICL on suspended sentence, intervention programs, and CICL in diversion programs. There is a need to design an age-oriented intervention for CICL of different age groups. So, yun nga dapat nga magkakaiba ng may age bracket o magkakaiba yung kumbaga different methods sa age at dun sa ano nung bata. Kasi hindi talaga pare-parehas ang hindi lahat ng techniques o yung processes is applicable sa age ng depende yun sa age ng bata. So dapat may iba-iba silang program base sa age. The families of CICL should be more engaged in the programs. So yun, ang pinakamahalaga doon is ang una is family. Dapat sa pamilya unang nagsisimula yung kasi hindi sila kung may proper guidance lang yung nagsimula sa family, siguro hindi sila magkakaganon. Pero sabihin na natin may circumstances talaga na siguro may naapektuhan yung mga children. Tapos nakakommit sila ng mga offenses. Sa barangay level naman, dapat considerate sila. Dapat may program sila na ginagawa. Halimbawa sa isang barangay, may program sila para hindi makakommit ng offense o para hindi malihis yung landas ng mga bata, dapat nagki-create sila ng program. Lalo na pag summer, dapat libreng program ito, tapos iniimbitahan lahat ng bata, kumbaga magpa-participate. Yung mga programs na yun dapat may matututunan silang aral. So, sa national level naman, dapat sa tingin ko, ang isa sa mga problema is facilities. Lagi naman, matagal ng issue yan sa Philippines. Siguro unti-unti nang nababago. Pero, dapat talaga sa pagdaan ng panahon sa pag-advance, dapat modern na din yung mga facilities. Tsaka, dapat well-trained din yung mga personnel na nag-handle dun sa mga bata. So, yun lang po and thank you.